welcome, Rod and Sebastian. Great to have you here. So I'll give you 3 questions, and we can just kind of go through those. The first question, Rod, I can start with you, is if you can tell us your name, where you're calling from today, and just a little bit about yourself and why you joined the EXO community. How did you come across us, and why have you joined? Rod, over to you.
Hey, thanks, Yaroslav. So my name is Rod Snodgrass. I'm from New Zealand. So I live in Auckland, originally from the South Island, so in the Southern Hemisphere. So look, I joined this, so I read the book in, I think, 2016, 2015. I was, at the time, on the executive of New Zealand's largest telecommunication company, built out a ventures unit. Read the book, really liked it. It resonated with me. I think it was the fact that it brought logic to growth, where I'd found not a lot of growth in the past. So read the book, subsequently left Spark, did a bunch of other things. So I sit on a bunch of boards and startups. Last year I did the EXO Masters course through the Growth Institute. Really liked that. And then during our lockdown, which was started 10 weeks ago in New Zealand, we did a level 4 fairly aggressive lockdown. I did the Foundations course. I'd love to say it takes half a day. I think if you're really passionate, it takes about 2 hours, and it's a crash course in the book. It's probably one of the things I've enjoyed the most this year, other than cycling the links in New Zealand. And then I was so taken by that, I did the Ambassadors course, and then decided to do the Consultants course. And the whole journey's been amazing for me. As a reasonably old guy in my early 50s, I've already got 4 clients, all paying, and I'm just trying to stay about a week ahead of them right now, to be brutally honest. So poor Yaroslav gets hounded by me by email all the time. And I think the most amazing thing about the tool sets, the process, the thinking, the community is, it feels like we've got something special going on here, where we're going to democratize consulting for a greater good. And there's not a single person I talk to who's not attracted to the proposition for different reasons, because it just makes sense. It's like the intelligence of McKinsey with the goodness of give back on a global scale, and it just feels special. So that's sort of why I'm here. And probably the thing I find that the most challenging about it is having to learn again, and worried about what Yaroslav and my cohort are going to say about my work, which I haven't had to do for a long time. So I guess that's my journey so far.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much, Rod. Great to have you here. Let me introduce Sebastian. Sebastian, if you can answer the same question, your name, location, and how did you come across EXO? Why did you join the community? Go for it.
Definitely, Yaroslav. I've been, first of all, my name is Sebastian. I live in Dubai, and basically I'm from India. I've been in Dubai for the last 20 years. So I started my technology career way back in '92 as an entrepreneur, setting up a small company at that time for software development. I ran it for 10 years and then moved to Dubai, pursuing a much better career. So in the current company I'm working, I'm serving as a chief information officer for the last 12 years. So this is a group called Abdul Wahid Rostamani Group, AWR Group, which is predominantly into real estate, automotive, lifestyle, transportation, and logistics. So multiple line of business. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. In my role, one of my biggest challenge was always how to make your organization future ready, right? So that is what keeps you awake at all time. And the technology is changing at a rapid pace. So we have been always on a catch-up game, many times. And then the customer experience, especially the way of running business processes. And this is also, group is also very progressive. So they love technology and optimization through technology. So I've been researching quite a lot and reading a lot of articles, whether it's Gartner's, Forrester's, and all of those. So 3-4 years ago, somehow I was blessed to get the Singularity University link. Then I started reading and subscribing to the newsletters. And then, I was about to attend an executive program in US in this March. So I was almost finalized because of the COVID situation, they had to cancel. Then I received another email from Salim, because of my luck, the Open EXO event. So then because of that, I immediately joined the EXO event. It was tough to attend because the event used to go up to 2 a.m. in the morning, and then I have to start working from 8 o'clock. But let me tell you, I never felt any sort of tiredness because it was very engaging. It was a complete fresh experience to attend that event, and we could network with many different people. I would have talked to almost 30 people from all around the world during that event, and very, very good sessions. Then I came to know about the EXO community and the course. Mm-hmm. So if I talk about the course, I've been on a continuous study to keep abreast of the technology, and I have subscriptions to Gartner, Forrester, those kind of research organizations. We talk to a lot of analysts. They all talk about the technological innovations and the world, how it is changing. But this is the first time I came across a course which will make you ready to prepare your organization to take it to the next level. So the EXO consulting course actually really make yourself as a consultant, and we can then do that same consultancy to your own organization or to external organizations. So if you look at, you have two types of organizations, right? The traditional ones and the new generation, the cloud native, organizations, right? So I used to wonder how the small little ones become the mighty ones. So I used to read a lot, and then you would have come across this book, Good to Great. And then he had to write another book called How the Mighty Fall. That was another thing. A lot of those organizations failed. So then during this course, I realized that, how you actually foresee the technology innovations, and especially the example of Elon Musk, when in the course we talk about, how he sees the technological innovations and create a company ahead of 10 years to see that, by that time this technology will mature, by that time I have a mature business, right? The same thing when the inventors of Siri also said, when they really created the Siri program, that time they knew that the technology is not good enough. The networking systems are not good enough to do this NLP translation on a real time. But they knew that in 3 to 4 years, the technologies will change 4G, 5G, and then they can reach there. So that is the same approach. Our own organizations, we have the same challenge. We have traditional organizations, and we aspire to become the future, ready organization. So I'm so glad that I attended this course, and now I can actually peacefully go back and work with the management team to create the future footprint of mining. So Kevin, thank you very much, you and Yaroslav also. So there is a good coverage about how traditional organization can, take this EXO pathway, right? So that is a very good practical example. So that's what it is all about.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Sebastian. Rod, if I go with the same question that Sebastian just answered. So the EXO consultant course, how has it been for you? I mean, why have you joined it? How has it been for you so far?
Oh, look, the main reason I joined it, to be honest, was I wanted to get more into the practical application of the book. So I haven't read the transformation book, if I'm honest. I read the Exponential Organization book and then did the Growth Institute course. And I guess the Crash Course in Foundations again was actually awesome. So I've been spreading that far and wide, and everyone who does that loves it. It's a cheap way to read the book, I guess. But I did want to just do some more practical stuff about how do you deploy these techniques in businesses. And even the stuff on the course, probably I'd have to say the piece I like the most is when we start talking about how do you overlay the EXO canvas on the business canvas. And well, it was you actually that talked about it, Yaroslav, so try not to stroke your out here, but how do you, deploy those attributes to move the boxes? And that was when it became real to me. And this was only a week ago. And then I did my session with my client, and I'm sort of doing 4, if I'm honest, but there was one I was diving in on, which is, as you know, is a clothing business. And through that process, and I've just done the EXQ survey today, which was fascinating, is we've basically realized we can virtualize the whole business because he's got such a strong brand, and he actually is an MTP. You realize just how powerful it gets. So I guess to cut to the chase, it was the ability to bring this pragmatic, practical lens to the book that I love the concepts of the book. They naturally resonated because I'm a person who loves ideas and concepts, but I did want to get into the nuances of, okay, well, how do I make those concepts, how do I bring it to life? And then you start getting into it. Simple things like, everyone loves to talk about leveraged assets, but the whole concept of, well, you can actually leverage digital assets if you want to push a retail store into an Amazon platform, and here's how you do it. And the bit if I'm honest, the bit I never really understood in the book was interfaces. Until I went through this course and understood just how many ways you can apply it, because that was when I struggled with intellectually the most. And then once you apply it, you go, oh God, it's actually quite easily. So yeah, it was, in a nutshell, being able to practically apply the book in real life instances was why I did the course.
That's excellent, Rod. And a final question before I also close with Sebastian. A final question is, what do you think like you can do now that maybe you couldn't do before, or what do you think you have learned that could be helpful to because you have your own agency and you're running innovation programs. So what do you think would be helpful, like as an outcome of this course for you going forward in your professional career?
Quite a lot, Yaroslav, because one of the things as a part of the IT strategy, I worked with the board to create a CET division. Then the name I have given was Center for Exponential Technologies. So that was
Nice.
based on the inspiration from, the Singularity University research, right? Now I can actually, that time I had only the concept, and then concept was discussed and we set aside a fund, and then so the theme given was how to future-proof AWR businesses, how to make.
Just lost Sebastian.
Yeah, I think we have.
Sebastian, we lost you for a little bit, but
Yeah,
you are back.
Yeah. So sorry.
So you were saying how to future-proof AWR businesses. That's where we lost you.
Yeah. So the biggest challenge is we know that the world is changing, especially if you look at, we are one of the largest automotive dealership for Nissan in the region. So we are in the B segment of based on the number of the total industry volume, we are one of the top in Nissan. So, and that 90% of that business is internal combustion based. And you know that in 5 to 7 years, this is going to disappear. Because in an internal combustion based, car, you have 30,000 parts. After sale is our big revenue, and that will go down to 20 parts in an electronic vehicle. So electrical vehicle, EV. So those are kind of challenges which was a bit scary. So how do we future-proof, make our business future ready? So this is why this division was envisaged. Then I didn't have much idea about what are the bits and pieces I have to put together. Now this particular course made me ready to really kickstart that mission and set up the division. And the challenge of how to make the traditional organization make more nimble and agile, and how we can do it at the edge of the organization. Everything is covered in the EXO course. Okay.
Excellent.
So in that point of view, it's pretty amazing. So now we have a proper plan. And so my next action would be to take inspiration from this and then do my internal consultancy within AWR as a first step to set up this division. And also I'm interested to see how we can cooperate and work together so that we can accelerate this kind of mission inside AWR. I think there are some community programs where you can have an enterprise, alliance with the OpenEXO to fast track this kind of programs, I guess. So these are my key takeaways and plans. Yeah.
That's great, Sebastian. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for dialing in today and sharing your experience. Let's close with Rod. The same question. Rod, what do you think is different or better for you professionally, having taken the course, knowing that you still have a week left? But so far, what you've seen?
I guess you have to pass me now, don't you? Look, I think the learning for me is you can keep learning, which has been great because after 30 years in corporate and 15 years on the exec, you sort of lose the passion for learning and the ability to understand that you don't know everything. So I've enjoyed the scariness of learning again and having to be marked and I guess challenged by your peers. And the good thing, I'm talking to Jason at the moment on my cohort, as you know, who's helping out. The big thing I'm really interested in now, and maybe I'm lucky because of my network, because New Zealand's a very small country, and when you've had some pretty senior roles, you sort of know everyone. I've got, luckily, deal flow up the wazoo. I've got customers coming at me from everywhere. And as you know, we've taken the 10-week sprint and pushed it into a 4-week because Kiwis have very short attention spans and we like getting stuff done. My biggest opportunity, shall we say, is finding talent now to execute on all the jobs we've got. We've already got 3 live projects with another 3 asking us to help. You know, the minimum size company is a $500 million company. And so I'm going to need yours and Kevin's help after this call over the coming weeks on how do we tap into the OpenExo platform, because I love the concept of democratized consulting and even how you can give back. So one thing I love about this platform is radical openness and the transparency of it all and how you can just do all of that stuff. So look, I guess my biggest learning, biggest challenge, biggest opportunity is how do I scale? Because I don't think any of us over time are going to have a demand issue. I'm worried about supply side, probably for the first time in my career.
Excellent, Rod, and this is definitely something we can help with. So let's keep talking.
I hope so.
Making it all happen for sure. Excellent. Thank you very much, Rod and Sebastian. Thank you for both of you for coming in and sharing a bit of your experience. Great to have you on the course. I'm looking forward to kind of completing together in a week or so. And it's been great. Yeah, it's been great working with you and getting to know you a bit. So looking forward to the rest. Thank you.
Pleasure. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much, Rod and Sebastian. It's always great to hear from our community members, to hear what you're doing, to hear your experience. And we really do appreciate you tremendously.